Volcanoes, some of the most impressive phenomena in nature. They show the wrath of the earth as well as its calm, mysterious, yet dangerous side. But what exactly is a volcano? Volcanoes are vents or openings in the earth's crust through which hot, molten rock, which is called magma, and gases and other volcanic material are released. Sometimes, but not always, the solid parts pile up around the vent to form what is known as a volcanic mountain. But some volcanoes are literally slits or holes in the ground, while others are broad mountains with gentle slopes. Volcanoes are of different shapes and sizes, as well as different composition, as well as different geographic locations. And speaking of geographic locations, research has shown that most volcanoes are found close to the boundaries of tectonic plates, just like earthquakes. With most of the Earth's volcanoes being found around the region of the Pacific Ocean and the Pacific Plate, which is commonly called the Pacific Ring of Fire.
Sorry, there was a frog in my throat.
The Pacific Ring of Fire. Here, volcanic activity is almost always occurring. In this video, I want to highlight the types of volcanoes from a third form class. For the purpose of their study, there are three main types of volcanoes. Volcanologists have classified volcanoes into groups based on the shape of the volcano, the material they are built of, and the way the volcano erupts. Speaking of eruptions, an eruption begins when pressure on a magma chamber forces the magma all the way up through the crust and out of the volcano's vents. The type of eruption partly depends on the amount of gases and the amount of silica in the magma. The amount of silica in the magma determines how sticky the magma is, and we term that the level of viscosity. Yes, viscosity. I know some of you love so the word viscous and think it means vicious because the volcano might be vicious. No, it's viscous. It means thick or sticky. Now when magma erupts through the earth's surface, it changes. Yeah, I know it's kind of funny for some people to understand this, but when it's under the earth's surface, it's called magma. But as soon as it makes its way onto the earth's surface, boom, there's a name change. It's called lava. Lava can be thick and slow moving, or thin and fast moving. Rock also comes from volcanoes in other forms, such as ash, which is really finely powdered rock that looks like dark smoke coming from the volcano. Or it may come in the form of cinder, which are also bits of fragmented lava. Now, the first type of volcano that we want to talk about is the simplest type of volcano, and these are called cinder volcanoes or ash and cinder volcanoes. Now, the term ash and cinder is what we like to call a misnomer, and a misnomer means a name that is incorrectly given to something or wrongly attached to something. Now, ash and cinder is given to, that's a name given to the volcano because earlier people thought that they saw the little fragments and it looks gray, it almost looks dark, it looks like smoke, and then they saw those other particles that were red hot. You know, I had this discussion with my class the other day. I don't know why they call it red hot, because it looks orange most times. But anyways. Yes, so these fragments are blasted into the air, and it reminds the people of ash and cinder, which comes from burning lumber or burning wood in the fireplace. So they saw these things and they thought that it was ash and cinder. But as you know, there's no living or organic thing inside the volcano to produce lumber or to produce wood that would be burnt. There's no trees growing in a volcano because nothing exists in lava. There's no paper to get burnt in the lava to produce ash. So therefore, we now know, based on those assumptions, that it could never be ash and cinder. But anyways, that's what they called it because it resembled ash and cinder, which comes from a fireplace. Now, these particles are actually fragments of molten rock, and when they are blasted into the air. This congealed lava that is blasted from a single vent, it's blown in the air, it breaks into fragments, and the fragments solidify and they fall around the vent to form a circular or an oval cone. These cinder cones often have a bowl-shaped crater at the summit, and they rarely rise over 1,000 feet above their surroundings. One of the most famous examples of a ash and cinder cone is called paracutin. And on May 20th, 1943, in a farmer's field, I believe the farmer is called Dionisio Polido. Yeah, don't kill me about the pronunciation. That farmer was digging, he was tilling, preparing his field. Then he saw smoke coming out of the ground. Now, imagine that you are, a farmer. You're digging your field and smoke just starts to come out, and then little things looking like fire coming out of the ground. Now, I believe you'd be a little more than surprised. The story goes that Dionysus ran to town and he explained to the townspeople that, hey, I was digging, smoke started coming out of the ground with cinders, but there was no fire. I couldn't see any fire, and we all know that where there's smoke there is fire. The people started to look at him and they said, hey Dionysus, what have you been drinking? Stop drinking, go and farm your field and stop telling long stories. Anyways, he went back and there was a huge cone, a huge mountain in his field. He went back to town to say, hey, not only is fire and smoke coming out of the ground, there is now a mountain in my field. The people run him back home. Say, go, hey, stop drink. You can't handle your liquor. And they ran him back home. But eventually, the volcano got so big, it rose to like 300 feet in 5 days. It grew so big that they could see the mountain all the way from town. So therefore, they started to come in droves to look at what has happened. And they found that there was a volcano that was created. I believe it's called paracutin because that area in which Dionysus lived was called paracutin. Now, cinder cones are among the most common volcanic landforms around the world. The second type of volcanoes that I want to talk about is called a lava cone. It's called a lava cone simply because it's made entirely of lava. But guess what? There are actually two types of lava. There's one type called acid lava, and there's another type called basic lava. Now, the types of lava also influence the shape of the resulting volcano. So, the shape of the volcano is influenced by the lava that made it. Now, as I said before, lava can be thick and slow moving, or it can be thin and fast moving. Basic lava is low in silica, and this makes it very fluid or runny. Fluid lavas make gently sloping cones. Acid lava, however, is high in silica, and this makes the lava very thick and viscous. Yes, I said viscous, not vicious. Viscous lavas always make steeply sloping cones. That's because the lava is so thick and sticky that and so slow moving that as it starts to leave the vent, it starts to congeal or solidify right around the vent. So it doesn't go very far before it starts to harden. This can cause problems because it might create an obstacle or a clog in the vent, which can cause pressure to build up. But that's a whole other story. So this acid lava is so slow moving that it is immediately acted upon by the elements of the weather. So it starts to cool, it starts to harden, and of course there is still an eruption going on, so other lava is being pushed up. As you can see, examples I am showing you on screen right now, that the lava is very thick and slow moving. Now one might think that, hey, it's because it's so thick and slow moving I can outrun this lava. Yes, you may outrun the lava, but as I said before, this acid lava, it tends to clog up or cause an obstacle inside the vent, which causes pressure to build up. And when that pressure builds up till it can't take it anymore, there's usually an explosive type of eruption, and that lava may be blasted several feet in the air. Also, basic lava, because it is faster flowing and more runny, it can run for several miles before even starting to harden or even slowing down. As you can see on the screen, if I change the color to, maybe watercolor or blue, you might think that this is actually a river, but no, this is lava. This is lava running at speeds like Usain Bolt. So this one you definitely cannot outrun. This one runs over everything in its path, destroying everything in its path. See, that looks like a whole river of lava that you're seeing right here on screen. So basic lava, because it runs for several miles before starting to cool or harden, it forms a very gentle sloping or almost flat. I don't want to say flat because it's not really flat. It can build up, but it's not as high as acid lava cones. Now the last type is called a composite volcano. Now, based on what you have heard before about ash and cinder and also lava cones, it should be easier to understand what composite volcanoes are. Composite volcanoes are formed by alternating layers of lava and rock fragments. This is the reason they're called composite. They usually erupt in an explosive way. This is caused by the viscous magma. Now, when the magma is very viscous, it rises to the surface, as I said, and it clogs the pipe, and the gas in the pipe gets blocked up. The pressure will increase, resulting in an explosive eruption. This explosion sends millions of rock fragments into the air, and it eventually falls back around the vent. With the pressure released, then the magma that's coming up next, it gently oozes out because, it got rid of all its anger and it's now calm. But guess what? It is still thick magma, so therefore it's going to come out, it's going to be thick and cause a blockage, or as we like to call it, I'm not sure if this word is common to any other country, but we like to say a bung. Yes, it causes an obstruction or a bung in the volcanic pipe of the volcano or in the vent of the volcano, and that causes explosive eruptions. So when there's a great explosive eruption again, then rock fragments are once again blasted into the air and they fall back around the vent on top of the lava that was there before. You're getting a pattern here. So the lava now comes out gently and it pours on top of that layer of rock fragments. Then there's another explosive eruption, and then rock fragments fall, and then eventually there's a gentle eruption. So there's a cycle, sort of a cycle of gentle eruptions, I should say. Erosion is another topic. Gentle eruptions followed by explosive eruptions, followed by gentle, followed by explosive, followed by gentle, followed by explosive, followed by gentle, followed by explosive. Sorry. I got carried away there. Yes, so you get the picture. There's a pattern being formed of explosive, then gentle. Cool? So those are the three types of volcanoes: the composite, the ash and cinder, and the lava cones, of which there are 2 types of lava cones. Alright? So in the next video, I hope to discuss the stages that volcanoes pass through, as well as the benefits of volcanoes. Yeah, you heard me correctly. I said the benefits of volcanoes. Volcanoes aren't just angry, fiery lava spewing death mountains that want to send you to the pearly gates to meet Jesus. They actually have many great benefits. And we're going to be talking about that in the next video. So until the next time, this is Mr. Henry saying peace. Just one last thing. Let me see if you learned anything from this video. Now, I said earlier that there's acid lava and basic lava, and they form different types of cones. So, which of these is the basic lava cone? Write your answers in the comment. Alright? Thank you. Alright, and if you have not subscribed before, feel free to subscribe so you can get more geographic content just like this. Mr. Henry saying peace. Peace.